Imagine a place where breathing itself becomes painful, where water turns to stone, and life is tested every single second. This is the story of those who don't just survive at negative 71 degrees Celsius, they live. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the coldest you have ever felt. That chill in your bones, that numbness in your fingers. Now multiply that, not by 2 or 10, but by 100, where the air itself feels like shattered glass in your lungs, where time slows and every breath is a visible cloud of survival. This is not a fictional winter landscape. This is reality for some of the toughest human beings on the planet. Far in the remote stretches of Siberia lies a place called Yakutia. It is known as the coldest inhabited region on Earth. But calling it just cold is like calling the ocean wet. It doesn't capture the magnitude. Here, winter is not a season that comes and goes. It is a permanent presence, a silent, white, unyielding force that dominates every single aspect of existence. In Yakutia, cold is not an element of nature you experience. It is the very fabric of reality. The day here does not begin with sunrise. It begins in darkness, pitch black, bone-chilling darkness. The first sensation is not sound, but the absence of it. A profound stillness blankets everything. And then you feel it, the cold that has seeped through walls, through layers of wood and insulation. It greets you before anything else. Eyes open to frost patterns on the inside of windows. Breath freezes mid-air, falling like tiny crystals. Getting out of bed is an act of courage. Every movement is slow, deliberate. To rush is to risk frostbite. To forget a layer is to invite danger. Clothing is not about fashion, it is about armor. Layer upon layer, wool, fur, thermal fabric, each one a barrier between life and the frozen void outside. The simple act of getting dressed can take 30 minutes, and in those minutes, your mind adjusts, not to a new day, but to another battle. Stepping outside is like stepping onto another planet. The air doesn't just feel cold, it bites, it stings, it claws at any exposed skin. Within seconds, your nostrils stick together, eyelashes frost over. The sound of your footsteps is muffled by snow so deep and dense, it feels like walking on clouds of powdered glass. And yet, life persists. People move slowly, purposefully. Shoveling snow isn't just cleaning a path, it's digging a trench for survival. Cars are kept running all winter long, because if you turn them off, they may never start again. Engines hum day and night, a low, constant chorus against the silence. Animals, horses, dogs, reindeer, are not just pets or livestock, they are partners in survival. Their warmth, their strength, their instincts are woven into daily life. Feeding them, tending to them, is as essential as feeding oneself. Inside the home, the battle against the cold continues. A house here is not simply 4 walls and a roof, it is a carefully engineered fortress. Walls are thick, sometimes double or triple layered. Windows are small, sealed tightly. Every crack, every gap is a potential breach. The hearth, the stove, the fire, these are not symbols of comfort. They are the beating heart of the home. The fire must never go out. Day and night, someone tends to it, because if it dies, the temperature inside can drop to lethal levels in under an hour. Family life revolves around this warmth, literally. Meals are cooked over it, clothes are dried near it, stories are told beside it. The home becomes a cocoon of heat and humanity in an endless white desert. It is in such extremes that you see the true depth of human connection. Here, loneliness is not just sadness, it is a threat. Neighbors don't just wave hello, they check doors, share food, watch over each other's children. An elderly person living alone is unthinkable. Communities gather not for entertainment, but for mutual preservation. They share resources, knowledge, and warmth, both physical and emotional. In negative 71 degrees Celsius, a simple visit can save a life. A shared pot of soup can carry more than nutrition, it carries hope. Children grow up understanding this interdependence. They learn early that survival is a collective effort, that every person, young or old, has a role to play in the community's endurance. Here, kindness is not a virtue, it is a survival skill. As daylight fades, which happens early and abruptly, the world transforms again. Night in Yakutia is not merely the absence of sun, it is an entity, a deep, consuming darkness that feels alive. Temperatures drop even further. The already still world becomes utterly silent. No birds, no rustling leaves, only the occasional groan of frozen timber or the distant, haunting howl of a wolf. Inside, lamps cast long, dancing shadows. The fire crackles, a reassuring sound in the immense quiet. But sleep does not come easily. There is a subconscious vigilance, an awareness of the thin line between safety and peril. Every few hours, someone rises to stoke the fire, to check the windows, to ensure the fortress holds. The night is long, and in its depth, one contemplates the sheer will it takes to live here. So, what kind of person chooses this life? Or rather, what kind of life shapes such a person? They are not superhuman. They are men, women, children, people who laugh, love, dream, and grieve like any of us. But they carry a resilience that has been forged in the coldest furnace on earth. They possess a patience that most of us cannot comprehend, a respect for nature that borders on reverence. They do not see themselves as conquerors of this frozen land. They see themselves as part of it. Their calendars are marked not by months, but by temperature drops and river freezes. Their wisdom is passed down in stories of blizzards survived, of ancestors who endured, of techniques to outlast the cold. For them, -71 degrees Celsius is not a record to be feared, it is a reality to be met, with preparation, with community, with unwavering spirit. In our world, we often speak of comfort, of convenience, of controlling our environment. We heat our homes with the flick of a switch. We complain if the room is too chilly. But in Yakutia, there is no illusion of control. There is only adaptation, only respect, only endurance. Living here strips life down to its essence. It removes the trivial and highlights the fundamental: warmth, food, shelter, and human connection. There is a profound clarity in that, a harsh, beautiful, terrifying clarity. These people do not live in -71 degrees Celsius in spite of the cold. They have built a civilization within it. They celebrate births, mourn deaths, tell jokes, sing songs, fall in love, all while the world outside could kill them in minutes. That is not just survival, that is the triumph of the human spirit. It is a quiet, steadfast declaration that even in the most brutal conditions, life finds a way, not just to exist, but to mean something, to be rich, to be deep, to be human. So, the next time you feel a chill or see snow falling gently outside your window, remember, somewhere in the heart of Siberia, people are facing a cold so extreme it defies imagination, and they are not just facing it, they are living through it. With every frozen breath, with every cautious step, with every shared moment of warmth, they are writing one of the most powerful stories of human resilience ever told. The question we began with was, how is life lived at -71 degrees Celsius? But perhaps the real question is, what does it mean to be human when everything around you tries to remind you that you are fragile? In Yakutia, they answer that question every day, not with words, but with their courage, their endurance, and their unbreakable will to not just survive the cold, but to find warmth within it.